All right, so we're going to do the 12A, 13A test. Question 1 says that we've got parallel lines M and N cut by the transversal T. How would you classify angles 1 and 7? Well, notice angle 1 is the top left here. Oop, let's go. So here's angle 1 and here's angle 7. They are both on the left side of the transversal, and they are on the exterior of the two parallel lines. So these would be same side exterior angles. Number 2, which other angles have a measure of 43 degrees? Well, 43 is there. We know that 43 and 2 are vertical angles, so they are the same. I know that 2 and 6 are alternate interior angles, so they must be the same. And I know 6 and 4 are vertical angles, so they must be the same. So it is 2, 4, and 6 that are all 43 degrees. So we're just looking for those angle relationships. You could have also used other relationships to find the same answer. For example, the 43 and the 6 are corresponding angles. The 43 and the 4 are alternate exterior angles. So lots of ways that you can match it up. You just use whichever one makes the most sense to you. All right, what would be the value of x for this one? Well, here I'm talking about this angle in the top left and this angle on the bottom left. These two, again, are an example of same side exterior angles. And if you remember, same side exterior angles are supplementary. That means that they sum to 180 degrees. And so when I set up my equation, because they are supplementary, I set it up by adding the two expressions, so 10x minus 9 plus 15x plus 14, and setting it equal to 180. Now we have to go into solving. And so the first thing I want to do is simplify by combining like terms. So I have a 10x and a 15x, which is 25x. And then we've got negative 9 and a positive 14. That would get us positive 5. Now that we have simplified, we're ready to solve. I'm going to draw the line for my equal sign and start moving things across the equal sign. And so the first thing I want to do is I'm trying to get x by itself. I want to subtract 5 from both sides. So I get 25x, 5 minus 5 is 0, equals 180 minus 5 is 175. Now I have 25 times x. The opposite or inverse of multiplication would be division. And so I'm going to divide both sides by 25. 25 divided by 5 is 1, so 1x equals 175 divided by 25 is 7. And so my x value would be 7 here. All right, the next one, I'm looking for what the angle relationship between angle 1 and angle 5 is, knowing that M and N are parallel. Here's angle 1, and here's angle 5. Based on the way I trace these, you can tell that they are corresponding. They make that little letter F. And so if you remember, the F is the corresponding angles. All right, for the next one, I'm trying to solve for angle PEA. So be careful when you do these problems. PEA is this angle right here. So that's the one that I want to find. I'm given information about that angle, and I'm given information about this angle. So the first thing I need to do is determine the relationship between the two angles that I know. Well, this other angle that I know is right here. And when I put those two together, I see the letter Z telling me that these are alternate interior angles. Therefore, they are congruent. Because they are congruent, now I have a different setup to my problem. I'm going to now set the two expressions equal since they are congruent. So 5x minus 6 equals 3x plus 20. In this problem, we don't have any simplifying to do, so we're going to get right into solving. The first thing I'm going to do is look for the smallest x, because that's the one I want to move first. So I've got 5x on the left and 3x on the right. 3x is smaller, so that's the one I'm going to move by subtracting 3x. I'm doing the opposite, or the inverse. 5x minus 3x is 2x. I'm going to bring down the minus 6. Equals 3x minus 3x is 0, so bring down 20. All right, next thing I want to do is move the 6 over, so I will add 6 to both sides. I get 2x equals 26. Now we've got 2 times x, so the inverse would be to divide by 2. And I get x equals 13. Now, that's not what we're asked for, right? We are asked to find the measure of angle PEA. So, the measure of angle PEA is represented by the expression 5x minus 6. And now that we know that x is 13, I'm going to replace x with 13, substitute it in, so that way I can find the measure of angle PEA. So I'm going to follow the order of operations. 5 times 13 is 65. Minus 6 is 59. So 59 degrees would be our answer here. All right, question 6. Describe a rigid motion, so one of the transformations, that would map angle 2 to angle 1. So here I'm going to trace angle 2. And now I'm going to move it. What type of transformation would it be? Do I need to reflect it? Do I need to rotate it? Or can I just translate it? Well, as I try, I'd start by trying translate to move 2 up to 1. As you see, all I have to do is translate it up and it lands right on angle 1. And so for this one, it is simply a translation from point C to point B, right? Because it's this point right here that I'm moving. That's where I'm putting my pencil, is at this point in the middle that I've circled. Oh, it won't let me do it anymore. But anyway, we saw it. All right, moving on. Now we're going to do a proof. So as I complete this proof, I'm going to complete it first and then we can find our answer choice. Whenever we do a proof, we always begin with the given. Our given is that m is parallel to n, and our reason is just given. The next one in the line, I'm trying to fill in the statement. I'm given the reason that corresponding angles are congruent. So I'm looking for a pair of corresponding angles. Well, I guess here you kind of have to look at the answer choices, because really we have more than just one pair. I have a pair of corresponding angles here, angle 1 and angle 3, but I also have corresponding angles 2 and 4. So let's check out the answer choices. We've got 3 and 4 are not corresponding, and then 1 and 3, 1 and 2 are not corresponding, so it's got to be angles 1 and 3. So angle 1 is corresponding with angle 3. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. In the next line, it is open for us to fill in. We need to figure out how we want to do this. Now, I am trying to prove that 1 is congruent to 4. And right now, I've shown that 1 is congruent to 3. How am I going to go from 1 and 3 to 1 and 4? Well, somehow I need to relate 3 and 4, these two right here. So I want to have that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. How could I say that those two are congruent? Well, look, they're right here next to each other, touching in the middle. They're across from each other. Those are called vertical angles. So that would be our reason that we can say that they are congruent. And so right here, there's our correct answer for this proof. All right, are they parallel? When you get a question that says test if the two lines are parallel, the first thing you want to do is look at the two angles you are given and determine their relationship. So here I've got 80, it's in this angle right here. Now I've got another angle in this, another 80 in this angle right here. If I look at those two angles, I notice that as I trace them, they make that letter F. These two would be corresponding angles. Now, if the lines are parallel, then corresponding angles must be congruent. Well, they're both 80, which means they are congruent, so then yes, these two lines are parallel. Now notice there's two answers that say yes. Only one of them has the correct relationship that we used, which is the corresponding angles relationship.